What's up, guys? Kevin here. Blue Box Game Studios. You might remember them. Earlier this year, they teased a game called Abandon. It's going to be an exclusive to the PlayStation 5. And even then, people are like, oh my God, this is Silent Hills. This is Silent Hills. Silent Hills, Silent Hills. And no one heard of the studio. People were guessing like, oh, this is Kojima. Because Kojima is known to trolling people. He trolled Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain. He said he was working on a game called The Phantom Pain or something. I don't remember how that went down, but we know Hideo Kojima likes to mess with us. Blue Box Game Studios and PlayStation are either messing with us, making us think that their game, Abandon, is Silent Hill, or Kojima is straight up lying to us and is working on Silent Hill. Now, we know Kojima, he just put out Death Stranding, putting out a director's cut of Death Stranding. It sounds like Blue Point is working on a Metal Gear Solid remake, just from that Death Stranding director's cut homage to Metal Gear Solid, where Norman Reedus takes a box out, goes inside the box, puts it back up. On the box it says handle with love and fragile. So to me, that just tells me that Kojima is not working on another Metal Gear Solid or the remake, but somebody else is, and we're assuming that's Blue Point. Now, yesterday, Blue Box Game Studios tweeted this out. Guess the name, Abandon. Now, Abandon, everyone thought it was Silent Hill already. And then they had to come out before and say, no, we're no relation to Kojima or Silent Hill. But they pull this shit. First letter S, last letter L. Reveal closing in. So, which is cool, because I think that means there's absolutely a Sony event happening here in the next few weeks. I'm excited. First letter S, silent. Last letter L, Hill. So it won't be Hills, it'll be Hill. Now, I was watching MBG. Someone came up with Sigil. I don't know if that was Abandoned or who came up with that, but that could be it. But for them to invoke Silent Hill, to tease, to use the clout of Silent Hill to sell your game, and PlayStation is on board with that. So this is a scenario where PlayStation is signing off, because trust me, you're working with PlayStation, anything you put out on social media, anything you do, Sony and their lawyers are looking over every detail. And Sony is allowing this to happen. This tweet is still up. So that either tells me that Sony is being complete effing dickheads in allowing this to happen and it's not going to be Silent Hill. It's not going to be made by Kojima. Whatever. It doesn't have to be made by Kojima if it's not Silent Hill. Like Sony and Blue Box Game Studios. Yeah, what are you doing? People want... Like, you cannot release a horror game and it not be Silent Hill. Like, there's always a disappointment when anyone shows a trailer of a horror game and it's not Silent Hill. There's just always is in this day and age, unless it's like Resident Evil. And now, to be fair, we saw The Medium, we see all these games, release teasers, and they get a lot of like, oh my God, is that Silent Hill? Is that Silent Hill? Like, no, it's Blair Witch. It's The Medium. It's whatever. So, I'm not trying to just solely put this on Blue Box for messing with us. However, Kojima likes to mess with us, and maybe Blue Box Game Studios is made up. Now, there is some type of history with the studio, but maybe Kojima Studios bought this game studio, and they're still operating as Blue Box, but they're probably working on Kojima's next game, which could be Silent Hill. Because studios, like, you think... Let's take in fact Death Stranding. We think that was Hideo Kojima Productions, like his studio. But we know that game was probably mostly made with Guerrilla because they use their engine. And that's pretty much the norm with any, like, especially major game. There's all these other studios working, helping out on making the game. So I wouldn't be surprised if Blue Box is working with Kojima to make whatever his next game is. Sounds like it could be Silent Hill, I should say. And then Kojima is just like, all right, well, you guys use your account and just tease the hell out of this. Which I think is very cool. It's very cool, except for one thing. They came out and then, let me open this here. They apologized for the tease, which I can appreciate the apology, but they knew what they were doing to begin with. We wanted to set things straight. We have no relations with Konami. Silent Hill is owned by Konami. We do not have any relations with Hideo Kojima. It was never our intention to tease the name as Silent Hill. We sincerely apologize. Okay. So, the apology, it happened. Now, obviously, they meant to do that. They still haven't taken down the tweet. Now, let's break this down. We have no relations with Konami. Yeah, if Konami gave it to PlayStation reached out to Konami like, hey, we want to make a Silent Hill game, and they worked out some deal. It's not like Blue Box Game Studios needs to have a relation with Konami. Even though you can say, hey, working on Silent Hill is a relation, but it's like, hey, we have no contact with Konami, so they could just be a contracting studio. That's all they could be, doing work. So they could be, they could play it vague there. We do not have any relations with Hideo Kojima. Okay. I mean, that kind of comes out and say, hey, this is not Hideo Kojima. It was never our intention to tease the name as Silent Hill. Like, come on, obviously. S and L. You're making a horror game, and Silent Hill is... Anyone making a horror game has Silent Hill on their mind. Guarantee it. Because every game tries to look like Silent Hill. And I want to be clear, I don't get the hype for Silent Hill. Sure, it was a fun game back in the day. I remember playing that at like 3 a.m. at my friend's house back in like 5th or 6th grade. And I was like, wow, this is some spooky shit. This is awesome. But, I'm in my 30s now. It's like, okay. Like, I enjoyed PT for what it was. Playable teaser. It was just that. Walking around the house aimlessly. It's like, I don't know. I guess people are into that. I'm not. But I'm not trying to rain on anyone's parade. And they put out this tweet as well. While we can't reply to each and every one of you, we wanted to genuinely apologize. We are confident that you will enjoy the game reveal. We just ask for a little more patience. And yes, the VO is done by top VO talents, so forget about the teaser. So, it really sounds like Sony's behind this game. They teased it early. Top VO. Is Top VO going to do a game for Abandon? I mean, they got Troy Baker to do VO for the Medium, so it's possible. So I'm just going to take it as it is. My final decision on this is I think Blue Box and Sony, let's be real, because Sony signs off on all this stuff. The minute this tweet went off, Sony and their lawyers were checking over it. But they're signing off on using Silent Hill Clout to hype up the game Abandon. And Sony is very good at marketing. They market the hell out of their games. Xbox can put out 90 plus Metacritic score games this next generation, and it'll probably still feel like they don't have any games just because they suck at marketing their games. Like Gears 5 was an excellent game that they should have really got behind, but they didn't. They didn't even show the single player campaign E3 2 months before it released. So, Sony is definitely signing off on this. Like, all right, yeah, you guys go ahead and use Silent Hill. Maybe Sony try to get Silent Hill for Blue Point. Now, Blue Point might be Blue Box. Blue Point, Blue Box. This could just be like a type of burner account. And I'm sure Blue Point probably worked on many games that no one would recognize. So I could just throw that up there in their LinkedIn. But, yeah, I think they're just chasing clout for Silent Hill, and Sony signing off on it, and for that, they're fucking dickheads. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. People want a Silent Hill game. Give them a Silent Hill game, or just be upfront that this is not Silent Hill. Yeah, Kojima, even yesterday, put out a tweet talking about some books, and in that tweet, it was a long tweet, but there was Silent, and then there was Hills. Like Silent and Hill. So, maybe. You know, I think I'm about 70% thinking it is a game called Abandon or Sigil or whatever it is. And Sony is just being assholes and teasing everybody that it's Silent Hill when it's not. Using Silent Hill as clout. I'm about there. And then 30% is, yeah, it's Kojima and he's making Silent Hills. Which would piss me off. It's because he's straight up saying that, no, this is not what it is. Basically, he'd be lying. And if you let him lie to you like that, like, you can tease it, and if people get it right, like, oh, this is Silent Hill, you just don't say anything, or you find a better way to deflect. Not say, oh, we apologize, that's not what's happening, we are not in any way related with Kojima here. So, yeah. I think Sony and Blue Box Game Studios are using Silent Hill as clout to sell their game Abandon or whatever it's called. Which is messed up. That's messed up. Very messed up. I mean, every horror game does it, but I feel like all those games you find out right away, like, no, this isn't Silent Hill. And they apologize. If it ends up they do the teaser or release it and it is called Abandon or whatever, I'll give them a pass. You know, I can appreciate that type of hustle. Like, hey, we need to sell this game. Go for it, but you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. And all you're doing is just going to let people down. I don't care if it's a great horror game. If it ain't Silent Hill, pass. But, yeah, there you have it. That's what I think. Now, I still believe that there's a chance this could be Hideo Kojima, because he likes to troll. It's like, oh, but he's going to sign with Microsoft. Well, he probably has a pretty big studio now, and he probably has multiple projects. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a big project he'll be working with on Sony, and then he's probably doing something little for Game Pass on Xbox. I would not be surprised. Hideo Kojima is probably like, fuck, I got maybe like a decade or two most to make some video games and content. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he starts stretching himself thin to make what he wants. I'm pretty sure Phil Spencer reached out to him like, hey, make something for us. Hideo Kojima, who went to Google to make something for Stadia. So I'm pretty sure he's all ears. Whoever wants to work with him, he'll probably work as long as he gets the budget to make whatever he wants to make. But yeah, there you have it. Blue Box Game Studios. I'll keep it at face value. They apologize. I'm just going to assume that it's a game called Abandon or something else that ends with S, L. They say it's Sigil. Who knows? Anyways, that's my theory. Sony and Blue Box, no matter what, it's just, they're dickheads for doing that. Don't tease people like that. Don't tease your fans. Anyways, tell me what you think in the comments, what your theories are, and I will talk to you later. Later.